I flew to Paris alone with no plan, just to feel alive again. Well, that's partly true. But there's more to the story. After 8 days of celebrating my birthday in Greece, I couldn't get back to America from Athens because all of the flights were oversold for the following week. Thankfully, I found that there were plenty of United States-bound flights out of Paris that had open seats. And with one more week of vacation before I was scheduled to return to work, I decided to stay and explore the City of Love for the very first time, instead of just passing through the airport on my long way back home. Today is my first day in Paris. It's my first time that I'm gonna see Paris during the daylight. Although it is a little gray, kind of cloudy, I'm really excited for what this day will bring. Paris is one of those cities that people dream of visiting or dream of living in. And the fact that I'm here right now is magical to me.
Se réunissent et la lumière éclaire nos vies. Dans tes bras, on oublie nos soucis. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Oh beau Paris, où l'amour s'écrit, sous les ponts les cœurs se réunissent. Vive lumière éclaire.
I really didn't expect to come to Paris on this specific trip or this specific vacation, so I did not have a chance to brush up on very basic French language. So I'm gonna have to do that sometime today so that for the remainder of my visit to Paris, I can say basic stuff. Like one of the vendors just now, as I approached, I said bonjour, and he said bonjour. What did he say? Ça va? Like, how are you? And I didn't know how to respond. That's so embarrassing for me. In French, I know bonjour, merci, je m'appelle, which I haven't used, je t'aime, like stuff like that. But like, I need to know how to say like, how are you? I'm good.
Au beau Paris, où l'amour s'écrit, sous les ponts les cœurs se réunissent. Et la lumière éclaire nos vies. Dans tes bras, on oublie nos soucis. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou.
So that is the first of many iconic tourist attractions that I will see while I'm here in Paris. And I think they had that fire or something like a couple years ago, so it looks like it's under construction.
Au beau Paris, où l'amour s'écrit, sous les ponts les cœurs se réunissent. Et la lumière éclaire nos vies. Dans tes bras, on oublie nos soucis. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Au beau Paris, où l'amour s'écrit, sous les ponts les cœurs se réunissent. Vive lumière éclaire nos vies. Dans tes bras, on oublie nos soucis. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 et cœur se réunissent. Ville lumière, éclaire nos vies. Dans tes bras, on oublie nos soucis. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la 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 lou, la 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 lou. Oh beau Paris, la 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 lou, la la la.
Hey everyone, it is me from the future editing this video. First of all, I do want to say thank you for tuning into my channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and leave a comment if you have any commentary. I appreciate the dialogue, and give this video a like if you like it. Easy enough, right? I realize in editing that I did not show you much of the hostel that I stayed at in Paris. I stayed at a hostel called the People Paris Marais. Now, there are other hostels in this brand, the People Paris this, the People that. I stayed at the one in the Marais neighborhood in the 4th arrondissement. If you are looking at another property from this brand, I can't tell you anything about that as of right now. I have not stayed at any of those other properties. All I can do is share my experience about the People Paris Marais. So I didn't really get much footage of the actual room or, you know, what it looked like, anything like that. So I'll include some pictures. Here's what my room looked like. I stayed in a 4-person room. I was on one of the top bunks. It was really clean. It was really comfortable. We actually had an ensuite shower in my 4-person room, but for everyone else in like the other rooms that maybe didn't have ensuite bathrooms, there were communal showers and bathrooms, as well as a communal like chill out lounge room, which I actually did get a quick video of. So here that is. There was actually a bar/restaurant on the premises. I love that. This place is called TT Palacio. They had different nights where they would have parties and whatnot. So there was a nice mixture of people who were visiting and locals. I paid about $60 per night, which is more than I usually pay for a hostel. Definitely more than I like to pay for a hostel, but to be fair, I did book this pretty much at the last minute. As you can see, the way that I travel a lot of the time is just sort of like spontaneously. I waited until I got a guaranteed seat on my flight from Athens to Paris. So as soon as that boarding door closed, I went ahead and booked my room at this hostel. In the couple hours leading up to that moment, I had been researching different options of where to stay in Paris. I have my criteria when I stay at hostels. I'm mostly just looking to make sure that the reviews reflect a clean property, a comfortable property. I also look to make sure that the property is central enough to where I'm not like feeling like I'm in the suburbs or like on the outskirts of the city. If I'm gonna visit a city, I definitely want to be as close to the heart of the city as possible, or at least in a great neighborhood. Even if it's not like the most central neighborhood, it just has to be like a great neighborhood where there's some stuff happening. With all things considered, this was the best place that I found for a last minute accommodation. I would recommend it if you don't book a last minute stay like I did. You can get a better price than like $60 a night. So, you know, if you have some notice and you want to stay at a hostel in Paris that is pretty central to most of the things that you're going to want to do, I do recommend staying at the People Paris Marais. So I dressed up as Andy Warhol for Halloween. There's supposed to be a party downstairs and nobody's dressed up. So I'm back in my room. I don't know where to go. It's cold out. I don't speak French. I also don't have any money until tomorrow when I get paid. But I did dress up and I did take pictures. I think this is the first year that I actually bought a costume, although it's only a wig in these classes. What I forgot to buy was the Campbell soup can that I could walk around with. I don't think they sell any Campbell soup here. I looked it up, I didn't see it. So this is my Halloween. I also didn't do much today. Like I said, I'm waiting for my paycheck tomorrow. So today is sort of just me wandering around aimlessly and being very strategic about what I do and where I go. And putting on this wig and these glasses. And that's about it. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get in bed and just wait around for tomorrow. It's Friday, I just got paid, and all is right in the world again. Now that I don't have to worry about money, I'm free to venture out beyond the 4th arrondissement to see more of the city. On the way to my first destination, I found this little Vietnamese cafe. I got a strawberry matcha latte, which is a favorite of mine that is starting to pop up at different coffee shops. Whenever I see one on the menu, I have to try it. They're so good. Now that I'm caffeinated and ready to go, it's time to be a tourist. First up, the Louvre. All right, we made it to the Louvre. I found the pyramids. That's actually only one of them. There's at least 3. That's the biggest one. I still don't know how to go inside and figure out how much the tickets are, but I'm sure if I tried really hard, I could do it. I don't know. I'm just gonna walk around a bit more. If I see an entrance or like a ticket counter or something, I'll go check it out. But if not, I could always do it tomorrow after I do some research online. And then I see the Arc over there. I think it's the Arc de Triomphe. So that'll be my next stop. I thought I was going inside the museum today, and I just realized all these people are most likely in line to get inside. Absolutely not. I thought that this might be the Arc de Triomphe, but I was like, no, I don't think the Arc de Triomphe was right by the Louvre on the same grounds. So I just looked at my map, which I downloaded offline because I don't have the internet. This is the Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel. So it's some sort of Arc of Triumph, but it's not the Arc of Triumph. And wow, literally, in this very moment, I see the Eiffel Tower for the very first time in my life, in person. Not the top, because it's foggy, but I do see it. And I want you to see it with me. That's it right there. Just had to make a pit stop and use the porta potty. But aside from that, I'm continuing along the same straight shot from the Louvre. Once I get to the Place de la Concorde, I can take the Champs-Élysées all the way to the Arc de Triomphe, which I can see right now over in the distance. So it's literally just a straight shot from the Louvre all the way to the Arc de Triomphe. Now that I made it to the Arc de Triomphe, I'm gonna sit down for a minute and catch my breath. I've been walking for at least 2 hours straight, and it took me a minute to realize, but once I sat down, I had to take my jacket off because I got a little hot. The sun came out. I don't know when the sun came out, but this is the warmest that it's been since I've been here the past 3 days. I am approaching La Pièce de Résistance, the Eiffel Tower. So now I just have to figure out the best spot to get my little picture. I made it to the Eiffel Tower probably about an hour ago. It feels like an hour ago. I've been trying to get the perfect selfie. Hopefully they came out good. And then I just sat down and admired it. Now I'm hungry. I got the seafood special of the day. It was a white fish risotto. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't even bad. It just it wasn't great. I love a risotto, but it didn't have a lot of flavor. I guess I'm gonna head back to the hostel. It's 6 p.m. I just laid down for about an hour. I was feeling really tired and down. I think that meal earlier, that lunch that I had, really just put me in a bad mood because it was so lackluster and a waste of my time and money, and I didn't even want to eat there in the first place. I laid down for an hour. I thought I was gonna take a nap, but after 20-30 minutes of having my eyes closed, I realized I wasn't gonna fall asleep. I found this restaurant that has pretty good reviews. I'm really disappointed that I'm not able to eat at Sacré Fleur. It looked really good. And this is the second time today that I've taken the train to another neighborhood with the intention of eating at a restaurant that I found online. And this one hurts more. It was one of the few options that I saw that actually got me excited. I really don't like the weekends. Can I be honest? I don't like the weekend. There are too many people out. I came to this pizza place just to get Wi-Fi and reorient myself. And I went on their website and it definitely says need a reservation. I did not see that part earlier. Disappointing, but whatever. In the meantime, I have found a couple other restaurants that seem good enough. So hopefully they are not completely full. I'm gonna try those. They're walking distance. Yes, I flew to Paris alone with no plan. Outside of the tourist attractions, I didn't have a concept of where to go, what to do, or anyone to do it with, but I let the spirit of the city lead me one step at a time. I flew to Paris alone with nothing but 3 French words in my vocabulary and a dream. Pronunciations were butchered and communications were missed, but I liked the way the language tasted on my tongue, like steak frites, Cabernet Sauvignon, and tobacco. I flew to Paris alone without international internet service to navigate the streets, and very little money to get me through the first couple days. Limited resources are not ideal, but they inspire me to be more clever and creative, and to have a greater appreciation for all my blessings when I receive them. I probably didn't do Paris the right way, but I did it my way, and that is my favorite way to do everything. Especially if I get to fly first class back home when I'm done.